Here we go, live.
Here we go. It's a party. And I was freezing when I came down in the basement, and now I'm getting warm. I think I'm just going to stay toasty.
I also have a blanket. So this is my daughter's old bedroom. I mean, she's in college. She graduates in December. And so we've turned it into a spare bedroom and kind of my office. And as I was cleaning up some of her stuff, I said, you left a weird blanket here. And she's like, yeah, it's because it's cold in that room. She's right. So I use that blanket sometimes.
Neelan is here. Hello. She said she was going to try to make it.
Oh, good.
Now I have all my prep done in the corner, so I'm ready to go.
Hello, Kimberly. We're so happy you're here with us.
A little
Yay.
terrified of what the bull's going to throw at us because we've had some really wonky things in the past.
We are so excited for the bull.
Here. Oh, this group of people joining us today, we're just going to have so much fun. I'm so excited.
Me too. Me too.
Hi, Ann. Yay.
Your people are here. Our people are here.
Our people are here. Yes, this is so exciting.
Yeah, it's been hard for me during the week ones. I've had to watch them on replay because of the timing.
It's hard.
But they've been interesting. I've enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a hard thing to make everybody happy on. What time to go live.
Gosh, yes. You just can't. And I loved, was it the last guest was
Yuritsa?
Yeah, Yuritsa. I loved hers. And I got the book. I'm so excited.
Oh,
yay.
I have to order that for you this weekend. I have to order it this weekend. So you're on my to-do list, Lindsay. Double to-do lists. Doodle and chat with Lindsay and send Lindsay a book.
Yeah, I was really excited.
Good. That makes us happy.
You got a foot of snow yesterday in Nova Scotia. Well, that will happen where you are.
I'm
glad I did not get a foot of snow. We just got ice. And it shut us down for a day.
It's cold in Illinois. But it did snow. I think we got 3 or 4 or 5 inches. I don't know. It was messy.
We had ice and then a little bit of snow, a couple of inches of snow. It wasn't anything too big, but it's finally warming it back up today because it has been really cold.
Yeah.
So today is supposed to be in the 40s and I'm excited.
We had
shorts weather.
No. Yeah, you Michigan person. That's not the
not so much anymore. I've done 20 plus years in the South. I can't really do shorts in the 40s anymore. My children do. But they're young and their metabolisms run faster.
I know. I don't even fight my kids on winter jackets. I'm like, hope you don't get frostbite. I told you to put on a jacket.
Kimberly, we were just talking about the timing on that. It's really hard to find a time that's convenient with everybody to be there. And we totally get it. We do. So usually we're trying to find a time that's convenient with our guests to make sure that it's a good time for them to join us.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I think we are ready to get this Doodle and Chat with Friends Lindsay Foster party started. I'm so excited. So we have just a little bit of an introduction to run through, and then we will dive into our Doodle and Chat with Friends for today. Welcome, everybody. We're so happy to see a lot of, I guess it's almost right now, our live viewers. Neelan's a new to us, Doodle and Chatter, but we've got a ton of OG Doodle and Chatters, including our very own Lindsay Foster, who's with us here today. I am Carrie Baughcum, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. We are just really excited for everybody who joins us here every Wednesday or Saturday or whatever day we decide to have a Doodle and Chat with Friends, when we draw and create and connect together to combine to make all kinds of who knows what kind of fun. And with me also is...
I'm Mandy Tolan, and my pronouns are she, her also. And here in just a second, after we give an introduction to Lindsay, Carrie's going to draw from the bowl that knows. And we are going to be doodling Lindsay's responses, but those of you joining us, if you would like to doodle her responses, you can, but you can also doodle your own responses to some of those fun questions that are in there. And when we're finished, we will be posting to the Doodle and Chat hashtag on Twitter.
All right, so we have an incredible woman with us here today. What we love to describe as an OG Doodle and Chatter. She goes back to the days of when Doodle and Chat started with me and Annabeth. Lindsay Foster is here. She's a mother and a wife and a Texan educator. She has spent over 20 years in education with her experiences ranging from kindergarten to 6th grade, curriculum and instruction, from urban to suburban to rural communities, technology integration, early childhood to 5th grade, learning technology coach, instructional technology coordinator, staff, faculty, student trainer, 2022 TCEA Technology Administrator of the Year finalist. Whoop, whoop. And now she is the instructional designer in higher education. But most of all, above all of those other amazing things that Lindsay has done in her life, no matter what Lindsay's title has been, her life and her work have been filled with experiences, learning, connections, moments, inspiration, and stories that make all of the people, students, and educators who know her, who are in her world, feel more supported, and our lives are richer because we know Lindsay.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry. Somebody went and read my LinkedIn profile.
Your LinkedIn was a very big help, but it was wonderful to do my Lindsay Foster research on you. I got to learn so much.
You can Google me and find me. My students used to ask for personalized information. I said, if you Google me, you'll find me. I don't hide on the internet.
It was wonderful to be able to learn more about you. But I think the overall thing that came out of like writing your bio is just everybody's world is richer because of you.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm a richer person because of everybody I come in contact with. So I'm really blessed in that regard.
Awesome. Well, we are really happy that you're here with us today, that we get to shine a light on you and all that you do in your life, as well as what you do for education. And that we're very excited to draw and talk to you all about that. All right. So
and now I noticed that you mentioned that I'm a finalist for TCEA's Educator Awards. I will find out Tuesday, March the 1st, if I get to put on my resume that I am the winner, or if I just get to forever be the finalist.
That is so exciting. That's so exciting.
It is exciting. I have to say the competition is very, very stiff, but it's an honor just to make it to finals. It really is. It's a big deal. TCEA is a really large organization. I mean, it's the largest ISTE affiliate, and the fact to make it to finals is I feel like I've already won. And the people that are in my category are pretty amazing. It's an unusual story because I was nominated in a different category, and then they called to ask if it would be all right if they moved me.
Oh.
And then they moved me, and I made finals in the category they moved me to. So
fun, very fun. So Mandy and I are going to turn our cameras around so that we can everybody can join in with us drawing. And Lindsay, I know you said earlier before we turned the cameras on that you are ready to draw with us.
I am ready to draw.
We had a really good pen talk off camera. We all have mugs and places of pens.
Oh, you gotta have all your pens. I'm grateful you guys are doing like the analog style, because I know that some of these you've done digital, and I am not as practiced in the digital, and I'm just not as good. Although I love seeing them. They're amazing.
Well, that's why we like to have both fronts too, for whatever anybody's.
So I am going to do digital today. So you'll get analog.
You boo.
I will.
I'm not as good at it, and I now have a Surface at work, and my boss was like, oh, so now you can do digital sketchnoting. I said, except that our IT department, due to our privacy and protection, we're not allowed to download stuff on our own devices, and they see no reason for me to have like Adobe Illustrate, so I can't do it anyway. I'm like, yes, see, God doesn't want me to do this.
I am a much faster sketchnoter on paper. I can do it on the iPad, but I haven't done it enough to be really super proficient. I draw fine on it, but that's when I have hours to do it. So it's definitely
I started out slow with the pens because I am not an artist.
Ooh. Sorry about that, friends.
It's okay.
I muted you, Mandy.
Good. I needed to be muted. And I am going to actually.
We have time.
Look at that. Super cute. You already have the people on your.
I know. Isn't it
Amazing.
adorable? Her people are adorable.
Her people are adorable. My people look like Fisher-Price little people. Like they have heads and they have these weird bodies and then they have like little rectangle feet. And that's my people. I've just given up on trying to draw actual people. And that's okay. It's all right to draw whatever you draw.
It sure is.
Well, I've been practicing. Carrie and I down in the corner. I feel like each week we get a little bit better. So.
All right, reaching this
list every week.
Please, God, don't let it be some sort of abstract noun.
We remember that season. We're like, abstract nouns will be fun, friends.
No.
Oh, good morning, Amy.
This will stretch you in ways you never imagined.
Oh, Amy's here. Oh, I'm so happy.
I know. The participants today, this is like old times. It's good times.
I finally got my non-chisel tips. I am a happy person. All right. So we have a bowl filled of Lindsay. I did some research beyond LinkedIn. I don't know if how good Mary Grace did, but she was super helpful. I don't know if that makes you nervous or not. Oh
Lord. This should be fun.
I know, pretty excited. The bowl,
and I have to say, I love my daughter, but she is not like the greatest at keeping secrets. However, she kept one. Good on her, because usually she blabs. Like she buys gifts for people, and she just tells you, "Guess what I got you for Christmas?" And anyway,
well, good. She kept the secret. I know there's a couple of good ones in here from Mary Grace.
I'm surprised, but good on her for keeping secret.
That was 2. Well, here we go. Diving right into them.
Long.
Well, you know what? I realized that as I was cutting these out today, I was like, I need to I'm like, what are you going to do, Carrie? Glue these all over the paper? But it was too late to go back on it. It was 10:30 and I was like, and we're committing.
You could tack just one end and then fold it up, kind of like where they do the journals and they have the doors that open. Those, whatever they call them, Swedish doors, or I don't know. I've gone to some of those bullet journaling things.
The little accordion door things. Yeah.
Yeah. Where it unfolds and there's more stuff underneath.
I didn't think about that. I could make it 3D.
Even. Somebody who does bullet journaling, I'm sure in the comments is going to put whatever that style is, but I can't remember.
I don't know. I might have to think about that. So the bowl asks, you have spent a large chunk of your educational experiences supporting other teachers. What has been one of your most rewarding experiences?
Oh, only one?
Oh. You can tell as many as you want to, but
I hate it when it's pick one.
I don't think any teacher can pick just one. I it's the worst question ever to ask a teacher. Pick one.
Pick one. All right. So I'm going to go back probably been 5 years ago, maybe 6. And when I was working my first instructional technology coaching position, and I had the opportunity to work in a fairly large suburban district, not as large as they get in Texas, but pretty large. And we had the opportunity to work with our educators because our superintendent, we'd gone 1-to-1 with Chromebooks. And our superintendent thought that because we were 1-to-1 with Chromebooks, we'd done 1 year and rolled out grades 3 through 12. And he said, we'd had some breakage issues and we'd had some behavior issues and those kinds of things. And so the superintendent determined that it was really important, since we'd gone 1-to-1, that if we were going to require professional development, that part of that professional development be a technology integration piece, which really helped our department's professional development hours, because we went from having people just occasionally attend. We offered over 500 hours of professional development that summer, but part of that was we did 2 3-day Chromebook academies. And as a result of that, the teachers could come in and get all of their PD hours in over 3 days. And we went through teaching them how to use their Chromebooks themselves. Like day one was kind of like they were the students. And in day two, we started talking about integration. And in day three, they actually did like an app smashing kind of activity where they actually rolled dice, which I'm now afraid of dice thanks to Doodle and Chat. And they would roll dice and they would get these different apps on the different face of the dice, and they would have to smash these things together and create a lesson plan. Well, coming in on day one, there was this teacher that I had worked with in my first year because I was assigned to 4 campuses. And she literally came in the first day and she's like, I hate technology. Like straight up looked me right in the eyes and said, I hate technology. And I was like, okay, I appreciate where you're coming from, but let's at least try to have an open mind about what we're about to do, because you're going to be here for the next 3 days. And, I said, and she taught elementary math. And I said, what would you say to a student who said, I hate math and I don't want to do math and I'm not going to do math and you can't make me do math? Would you let them just like get up and walk out of your classroom? And she's like, no, of course not. And I'm like, well, give me a chance to make this more palatable for you. And at the end of the 3rd day, we did an activity with a Padlet, actually, where they had to write a 6-word story. And her 6-word story was, hate no more, will use tech. And she wasn't like the biggest fan of it, but she at least acknowledged that it had a place in her classroom. So, that's one of those moments that you just love to have. And we as educators, we gather those moments and hold on to them and hug them, really tight, like the little white character in the cartoons from, several 50 years ago with the rabbit.
Yes.
And the carrot, like I will pet him and love him. It's amazing. That's kind of what we do to those memories because we don't get them very often. We're in a business where we plant a seed and we don't always get to see it grow, and you don't know if it grows into a weed or a tree or if it died on the vine, and kind of made it, or you very rarely get to see that. So it really is nice to have those memories. So I'm lucky in that. And it's nice. So I'm going to draw a Chromebook because I've talked and I wasn't drawing while I was talking.
That's okay. We find that happens a lot. So we can draw as we listen to you talk, which is a really good thing. But then while you're talking, sometimes it's hard to draw. Like, I don't know that if I could do both of them.
It also might be part of the plan in the whole thing, but I would never really say that it was part of the plan,
And I've gotten really good at drawing dice. So I'm going to draw a die.
I went for the dice and I wrote, oh no. But then I drew the dice and then I had to color it in because I tried to put the dots in it, but I realized when you draw a 3D dice, the dots don't work. So now it's just a black dice.
Well, I cheated. See, I do the dots, but I only do, I don't typically do 6 unless I'm doing it on the front face.
I don't either. I usually pick 1, 2, and 3 because they're easy to do.
Did you know that dice are actually all the sides, the opposite sides total 7? So 1 is opposite 6, 3 is opposite 4, and 2 is opposite 5. So the sides always total 7, the opposite sides. That's the way a die is built. Well, at least a 6-sided die, not like a
right, absolutely.
Dungeons and Dragons die. Ooh, shouldn't have said that.
You're fine. I'm not going to say it because I'll jinx us, but you're fine.
So
I even tried to put a seed in the ground. Okay, so first of all, that's you with a hand supporting. And let me tell you, I tried this hand like 5 times, and you just have a mitt for a hand. It wasn't working.
That's super cute. I like the seed.
And then, you have your seed.
You gave a lot of what was it? Nuggets in that one that were fun to draw. Like you gave lots of visual nuggets as you were talking. I was like, and
I
symbolism.
think that's why I love sketchnoting and visual thinking, is because I think in pictures.
Agree.
I do too.
Yeah. It does.
And I was actually getting ready to draw the Chromebook when you said the 6-word story, and now I forgot to go back and put my Chromebook. So I might have to go back and add that because I was going to put a Chromebook in there too.
Yeah. I love 6-word stories because I think it's really important that you be able to summarize as much as you be able to expand your writing.
For sure.
Sometimes it's way harder to be concise.
I agree with you, for sure. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull from the bowl again, and let's see what it gives us.
But Mandy gave me an idea to add to mine, so
awesome.
I totally borrowed.
I cannot wait to hear about this one. Traveling overseas, say to Scotland, is often full of adventure and the unexpected. Tell us about your hotel room door in Scotland.
Our hotel room door?
So apparently, do things expand?
Oh, Lord. Oh, yeah. Okay. So first of all, you have to know that I have an amazing cousin. She's fantastically brilliant. She's a CEO, and I love her to pieces, and she's incredibly generous. And one of the things that she does for not my generation, but our daughters, is that she takes the young women on a trip when they turn 18. So when my daughter turned 18, she got a package in the mail, and in it was a travel guide to Scotland, because my cousin had chosen that location because that's where our family is from, and she'd never been. And she always tries to go someplace she's never been. So we were in Inverness, Scotland, because one of the things that Mary Grace had asked to do was to go to Inverness, to Loch Ness, to check out the Loch Ness Monster. So we're staying at this lovely, lovely hotel, and we had 2 doors, one that opened to the hallway that was this beautiful wooden door, and one that was like a glass patio door that opened to this beautiful, beautiful garden. I wish I could show you pictures. Anyway, so apparently in the middle of the night, the humidity caused the wood in the door to swell. And we couldn't open the door. Like straight up, we were in the room. Mary Grace and I shared a room. And we were in the room and like put the shoulder on it, pull with both hands, both of us pulling out the door. We really weren't, we were like trapped in the room. So thankfully we had the glass door so we could go out onto the patio and get out. Otherwise we would have been calling like, I don't know, the fire department or somebody. So they actually had to send a maintenance guy to our room to shave the door down to get it to open and close. Like it had swollen so much. It was really funny. Like we were literally trapped in the room.
Were you on the first floor? Was that also a lucky thing?
Yeah, it was all one floor. It was not 2 stories. Got it. Yeah. So we just walked out. We opened up the garden doors and just walked out. And then we went to the front desk and let them know. And they actually, and the poor guy, like he was shocked. I thought he was going to have to take the door off the hinges to get it off to actually shave it down. But then we had wood shavings on our carpet and they had to send someone down to vacuum it. It was a whole thing. That trip was an amazing trip. We had quite a few travel adventures. I seem to always have travel adventures, but you kind of have to take it as a interesting thing. I'm surprised that that's the thing that she picked out of that trip was the door, because it was there were a lot of weird things that happened on that trip.
Did she see Loch Ness? That's what I want to know.
Yes, we did see Loch Ness. We went on a boat tour and went out onto Loch Ness. We did not see Nessie.
Okay,
that
that's what
day.
I meant.
But we learned a lot about the lock systems in Scotland and how you can basically go all the way through Scotland traveling through the locks, which is amazing. The
Really?
water is interesting because they have the water that comes into it's actually, so you have these mountains that come up like this, and then the loch cuts down through it glacially, and so you don't realize how deep it really is, and it runs through peat, so the water is actually like the color of tea, like hot tea or iced tea. And so it will stain your clothing, it will stain your shoes, it will stain your skin if you go swimming in it, because it's running through peat. And so it looks like really dirty water. It's not actually dirty. It's just that it's been run through peat. So it has this weird brownish tinge to it. And the day we went, it was misty and rainy, and you have these huge, beautiful green mountains that come up, and you're down on the boat, and it's I'm a huge fan of Arthur Conan Doyle and read Sherlock Holmes as a kid, and you really do understand when you go there, like how the Hound of the Baskervilles, where they talk about how you could get lost on the moors. You really can. I mean, it's just the fog comes down, and it's just very, very mystical and sort of creepy and sort of magical, and you do kind of expect the Loch Ness monster to come up out of the lake. And we went out, and they have a castle, and you go out, you disembark from the boat, and you have time to walk around. And so we went around some amazing ruins, and it's just to go to Europe and see countries that have histories longer than our country has been in existence.
For sure.
Is just, and I realize that there are people that have lived on our land far longer than we've been a formalized country nation. But I think of, the birth of our nation and the Constitution and those kinds of things. And to think about the history that America has as the nation of America versus the history of the European nations it's pretty impressive to go, and you're like, I'm in a building that's older than the Constitution, and it's still standing.
True.
So it's pretty cool.
That is fun. Also, Nessie was really fun to draw. I just realized
Nessie is fun to draw. And there's no wrong way to draw Nessie, because no one really knows what Nessie looks like.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I saw Mandy draw it. I'm like, well, I have to draw Nessie now.
And I actually have I bought a bunch of Scott children's books. They're actually right within arm's reach of me right now. And I got several that tell the story of how Nessie became Nessie and those kinds of things. So
fun.
Well, I tried to add the fog or the whatever you're talking about coming off of the water. So that's what happened there. And the eyeballs are representing you looking for Nessie, but not finding Nessie. So
you got deep, and it's all on the door.
That's right.
Nice.
The door that they're stuck behind.
Yeah, they could have scraped out Nessie on it if they would have been stuck in it. It could be their drawing.
That's right.
Somebody come discover us. We're trapped.
I'm going back someday. That's my plan is to go back. I truly, we got to see the entire, like everything on the Eastern Seaboard, and I would like to go back and do the Western side. So I wasn't
Not
there.
to mention, I mean, because I was doodling with our TikTok Bowl That Knows yesterday, and I picked Ireland, but Scotland's also second. Like, I love to listen to them talk.
I was really, really blessed. My great grandfather came to the United States via Canada, and I have distant family relations that still live in Scotland. We have family relations that live in Canada. We have family here. Nice. And my great uncle spoke with a bird. So if I read the poetry of Robert Burns, or if I listen to someone, pretty quickly it starts to roll. It's pretty easy for me to roll off the tongue. So
Fun. That is fun.
You can read to me anytime then.
And I have to say, like, I was really sad last year when Sean Connery passed away, because I could listen to that man talk all day long.
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
yes.
Absolutely.
And he wasn't too difficult to look at either.
No, he wasn't, especially in a kilt.
Oh,
I
yeah.
agree with you on that for sure.
Man in a kilt looks really good.
Yep.
I agree. All right, let's see what else the bowl has in store for us. It's a short one.
Oh boy.
Oh, what is your favorite outfit?
What is my favorite outfit?
Looks like it listened to
More
us
of a
talk about
question
kilts.
for Mary
and now
Grace. She's a huge fashionista. She can throw together all kinds of
this
clothes.
one is one of our random ones.
I would have to say my favorite outfit. I really like overalls. I'm wearing some today. I really like overalls. One, because they're comfy and they're like one piece. You know, I can't go to work in them. But I'm not one of those people who's motivated by jeans, but I really like them because they're comfy and they, they have room, and I don't really like, super tight clothing. I want some space in it. And I like my layers.
Layers
I'm
are
happy
good.
in a turtleneck and a sweater, and which is funny because I live in Texas and I really like to have like layered clothing, and I like cold weather. I'm happy when it's cold. So the 3 months that it's really, really, really hot in Texas are hard for me, but yeah. So I like my cold clothes. I'm happy in layers and being bundled up, and I have like seasonal clothing. During football season, I wear my football clothes, and I have hockey clothes, and I have for my different sporting teams.
Nice.
And I'm not as like a lot of teachers. I like my I have a lot of fun teacher shirts. I have one that says teaching with flair, and it has flare pens.
Oh, I need that one. I need to have that one in my life.
I will send it to you in the private chat because I can't really advertise, but
or I can
if
get later.
you go to that company, there's a company and they sell them and they're amazing. And I really like the baseball raglan, the 3/4 sleeve shirts, because I like to be able, like I have long sleeves on today. I like to be able to push my sleeves up or pull them down depending on the temperature of the room. And if you end up in a short sleeve shirt, then you have bare arms. So
you do.
So I like my layers. I wear a lot of like kimonos and cardigans and things like that. So I can, if I get hot, I can take something off, because you can always take extra clothes off, but going and getting clothes is kind of a pain. So
agreed.
So now I have to draw a pair of overalls. Look like a farmer.
It was easier than I thought. I think that was my first pair of overalls that I've ever drawn.
Mine too, and I'm not convinced that I nailed it, but I'm trying to put the animal print on it.
Good luck. I'm going to let you do that.
All right.
I mean, I'm not going to say nailed
overalls. Look, wrong way. Large rectangle.
Yeah, they look good.
Yeah, it's just
I
a big
love it.
rectangle.
Wait, let's see your little Nessie.
Oh, my Nessie, I cheated.
No, you didn't.
No, it's perfect.
Waves.
I love it.
Waves and U's. Waves and U's. I'm all about the like visual thinking strategies where it's simple shapes. If you can draw a circle, you can draw a square, you can draw a triangle, a teardrop, an arch, and a dot. You can draw anything.
That's true.
Because that's basically what it breaks down to. If you can figure out those simple shapes. So, yeah.
All right, leopard print overalls.
Leopard.
Nice.
Oh, see, look, you got it.
Fancy.
We might need, or whatever animal print this is.
It's Lindsay inspired animal print.
Dalmatian, I don't know.
Let's say it could be Holstein cow.
Could be.
I'm adding cuffs onto the bottom of my overalls, which are just extra rectangles.
Kimberly, I'm reading your comment about he's like fine wine better than age. I actually follow an account on TikTok and it's guys that age like fine wine.
Nice.
I agree. Sean Connery was one of those.
I have a thing about, I have like my top 5 guys and James Earl Jones is on that list. Like if he rang my doorbell and said, come with me, my husband knows I would just walk out the door and be gone. Because I'd be like, dude, here is an encyclopedia. Just read it to me. Read me the phone book. I don't care. I will sit at your feet and listen to you read. I swear we need James Earl Jones to record the entire Oxford English Dictionary so that we have his voice for anything. And I think that's probably why Darth Vader is my favorite Star Wars character, because he's voiced by James Earl Jones.
Yes.
Sam Elliott is also right up there.
Sam Elliott is an excellent one as well. He is on that list. Yep.
I can't think of who he is. Why not?
Sam Elliott with the mustache, really deep voice, that Western.
Gotcha.
He was in the that movie with Jeff Bridges about the carpet.
Yes. Got it.
Now I do have one of those guys, but I mean, and he's not young anymore, but it's Ryan Reynolds.
Oh yeah.
He is also on my list, as is his
Ryan
nemesis,
Reynolds.
Hugh Jackman.
Yep, I say either one of those. You bet.
100%.
Yep, and I'm like they're nice to look at, but really it's the voice. I like to listen to the voice.
Must read, must have a good voice. Everything else is just decorate. It's just for decoration.
You know,
That's right.
I need them to do more audiobooks for me. Like,
oh yeah.
I have listened to everything Stephen Fry has recorded. Like I've bought all the audiobooks Stephen Fry has recorded. And I really enjoy, he wrote several on Greek mythology that I've really enjoyed. But I've listened to everything Stephen Fry has recorded. I'm like, I like to listen to Stephen Fry. I'm like, and my husband's like, I think you have a thing for like that British. I'm like, yep, yeah. Straight up.
Yep.
Not gonna lie.
Love me some accents. I'm with you.
So this is even like double trippy. The fact that there was an accent question pulled on Doodle and Chat for TikTok. It's made our way into this Doodle and Chat, and and we have people that we'll just leave with for accents. Like the bowl just I don't know. It just has its own thing, doesn't it?
How do you do Doodle and Chat on TikTok? Aren't those videos limited to like some minimal time?
We are so happy that you asked us that, Lindsay. So every Monday I pull from the bowl that knows and I read a prompt, and we wait to get hopefully a comment on that would be an answer to that prompt. So like the last one was something about like what fake accent can you do, And so when somebody shares a comment, we pick a comment from the comments, and then on Friday Mandy draws about that comment just on a little post-it note. And then today I'll hop on my personal account and I'll do a duet with Mandy. Or actually we hope that other people will do that. They'll do a duet with Mandy and draw their drawing next to there's Mandy. She was Irish.
That was my quick doodle yesterday because they're just really fast little doodles.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they'd have to be. That's what I love for Post-it notes, because they're just the right size for something like a quick draw. You have just that much space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so that's our hope. And then, so hopefully at some point when we get a little bit more established and people understand our crazy Doodle and Chat minds, the vision is to hopefully see more duets with it. And we think it would be fun. But for now,
we have to try that. I don't have TikTok as a social media platform.
It's a new world, let me tell you. It is not quite as filtered as our other worlds. I will say that.
Nope, it isn't. You have to be careful what you like, because your algorithm is going to be filled with some weird things if you like the wrong thing.
Or if you like,
we also do like little 1 minute, sometimes a little bit longer, that compilation videos. So here in a few weeks, we will have one of this where we'll just have a fun little 1 minute of here's what we did during your time. So
we take some of our fun moments and you'll be eternalized on TikTok, Lindsay.
That's right.
Okay.
LinkedIn won't be the only place people can find you.
Took me a long time to get to Instagram too. I created an account, but it didn't like my device, and so I couldn't get on it, and so I didn't do it for the longest time. And now I do. Now I do daily an Instagram post, but it's just one. Yeah. I don't have that huge a presence on Insta. I sort of live on Twitter.
I love Twitter still. It can be for old people. I don't care. I love it so much.
Me too.
Love it.
Me too.
All right. Let's see what else the bowl has for us today. Ooh. What three things are on your dream home wish list?
Oh, this is easy. Three things. Closets, plugs every 6 feet, outlets, and an outlet in the garage that will power my 13 cubic foot deep chest freezer without popping the circuit breaker.
Nice. It's the little things that matter.
I would also add hurricane clips to the roof, just because that's something that living in Tornado Alley, my husband and I have talked about. But we've lived in a wide variety of homes over the course of our lives, and there are certain things that like we've had problems with. And so we have on our top 3 things, those 3 things. Like we want closet space. We want outlets, because the very first home we lived in, our first home as a married couple, was an apartment and had a Jack and Jill bathroom. And, you know, if you don't understand what Jack and Jill is, it's the toilets and the sinks are on the outside, and then there's a shower bath in the middle. Mm-hmm. And which was great, except that there was only one outlet in the bathroom, and it was not in the master bath end. So to curl my hair, I had to go into the master bathroom, go through the shower, and then go down to the other bathroom. So we have very strong feelings about being able to plug stuff in. And we've had several where our deep chest has been in the garage and the outlet has not been able to. It regularly pops the circuit breaker, so we have to go out and check on it frequently.
Don't want stinky meat.
So yeah, I have simple requests, but makes me think of that meme where people take pictures of like everyday objects and then assign them personified, you know, emotions, like the wall socket outlets that are like, because you know it's the 2 plugs and the
yeah.
That's what it makes me think of, but, which is what I'm going to draw.
So tell me about hurricane clips. What are those?
So those are in areas that have hurricanes and tornadoes. They're when you build a home and you do the framing of the home, they're reinforced brackets that go in your roof, so that it necessarily won't keep your roof from being separated from the house, but mm-hmm. They're built to withstand greater wind pressures, so you're less likely to have the roof torn from your house. But, you know, if you're in an F5 situation, like you're in those strongest tornadoes that are really, really big that we can get in this area and in Oklahoma, where we spent the first part of our marriage, you know, there's nothing going to save your house from an F5. If it's in the path of an F5, it's the reason they call it the finger of God is because it takes your home down to its foundations. So, but if it's in an F0 or an F1, you might be able to withstand those winds, or some of the F2s and 3s. So, you know, that's important to us living in this area. You might lose shingles, but you're not going to lose your roof.
Got it.
And they built them for hurricane winds as well. So,
got it.
but when you live in an area that potentially has that kind of stuff, you think about those things. And we don't have basements here, so there's no like going to the basement in the event of a tornado. You might have a storm. You might have a storm shelter, but
Yeah.
So Carrie, what did you draw in that one?
I just drew a big closet with lots of boxes, and then I drew the little at 6 feet thing with the outlets, and then I was trying to figure out how to weave in the freezer into this in a funny way, but I was stuck.
So, the plug is snaking its way up to her first outlet.
Oh, I like that.
It's like, I'm gonna go find a plug-in. So, and then I put the roof clips at the bottom. It's a terrible house. We may have to, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it. It's okay. It's okay.
Well, it's a house. You can tell it's a house. It's
well, and I like how the plug to the freezer doesn't quite make it there.
That's right. That's right.
It's like it may stay plugged in. It may not.
Snaking its way up. So. And you did say a chest freezer, right?
Yes, it's a chest freezer.
Okay, good. Because after I
am a big fan of chest freezers.
Well, and I love the chest freezer. And so anytime somebody says a freezer, that's what I think of. And then after I do it, I was like, did I just project that or did she say chest freezer? So.
Strangely enough, that was my Valentine's gift about 10 years ago, was the 13 cubic foot chest freezer. My husband asked me what I wanted for Valentine's Day, and I said, I want a deep chest freezer. And so he took me and he bought me one. And people are like, you bought your wife a freezer for Valentine's Day? He's like, that's what she asked for. And it's been, I've loved it. It's moved 3 houses with us. So
there you go. Now it
does an amazing job.
Now it's a Valentine chest freezer.
There you go.
That's cute.
I'm going to put a light on mine because I know that has a little light in the lower corner so that you know that it's on.
Yep. Good one. Good one.
See?
That's important.
That is important.
Well, especially when it blows the circuit breaker, we know that it's out because the light goes out.
Yeah.
All right. I think we have time for at least one more, maybe 2.
Every time y'all are drawing, I have to check that YouTube didn't stop. It's frozen.
Here we go. Oh, I was hoping we were going to get this one. Football rivalries seem to follow you wherever you live, from living in Michigan to college in Oklahoma City to Texas. Do you have a favorite rivalry or football team?
Oh. Do I have a favorite rivalry or football team? First of all, I'm a much bigger fan of college football than I am of the NFL. However, I have adopted my husband's team, mostly because I grew up in Michigan, and I don't think anyone actually admits to being a Detroit Lions fan. Maybe they do. Like my dad does, but my entire lifetime, like the expectation was just that if you had no expectation, any wins were great wins. Congratulations to Matthew Stafford, by the way, on his win. But I grew up in Big Ten country. My parents they went to one of those schools, and we lived 20 minutes from there. And my parents had season tickets, so I grew up on Big Ten football. And there were several rivalries of the school that they attended. Its colors are green and white. So that was a huge thing for me, and I went to school. I would have to say collegiately, of course, because my husband and I met at the University of Oklahoma. There is a huge rivalry there about a land war that claiming in a river that when I went to school, it was not called the Red River Showdown. It was called something else.
Okay.
But we don't call it that anymore for political reasons. So that's a huge one. I really enjoy the rivalry that comes with collegiate sports. I like watching sports. I liked watching the Olympics because I enjoy watching sports that our country is not good at, and that other people are. Well, because you get to see a really wide variety. Like in these Summer Olympics, we got to see handball, and all these other countries are really good at handball. And I was like, "What the heck is handball?" And then you watch it, and you're like, "Oh, it's kind of like lacrosse, and it's kind of like soccer, but it's played with a ball, and we're not very good at it." Or things like synchronized swimming. So I enjoy. I'm not the big. We have to win every gold medal. I think you should be proud of anybody who's an Olympian, but I do enjoy my sports. I may be a little bit rabid as a fan. I may put the fan in fanatic. But yeah, so I have my college sports. So I follow my Sooners. And I was there at school when they were not, when it was not a great time to be a Sooner fan. So I'm not a fair weather sunshine fan. I follow them regardless. I am excited about the opportunities. I wish our former coach all the best of luck where he moved, as well as all the players that moved with him. But I'm excited about the opportunities that we have in the upcoming season. And I am a diehard, dyed-in-the-wool Detroit Red Wings fan.
Okay.
Love my hockey. I am totally Original Six. And, I am sad that they have really struggled since, but we'll get back there, It'll be good. So I love my hockey game. I love the Stanley Cup. I think it's one of the prettiest trophies that's awarded in sports. Yeah, I like all kinds of different things. I would probably say the biggest rivalry in our household has to be my husband grew up in Kansas City, or in the Kansas City Metroplex, and he is a Chiefs fan and a Royals fan. And while I am not a Lions fan, I have adopted the Chiefs as my football team. I am a Tigers fan.
I'll take it.
For a long time, there was an argument in our house about 1984 and 1985 and which one was a better year. And then the Royals have most recently won the World Series. So he just, every time I say 1984, he goes, 2015. But, when the Royals play the Tigers, things can get a little heated in our house because I am a Tigers fan. And to go back to a previous conversation, I always was a big fan of Tom Selleck because he wore that, hat during that detective show he represented. So,
yes.
But yeah, I like pretty much all sports. My husband is a huge soccer fan. I'm not so much.
We also seem to be a fan of mustaches here on Doodle and Chat this morning, I might add.
Apparently, yes. Mustaches and bald guys.
And the voices. We're a simple folk.
So
give us your legs, your deep voice, your mustache.
Right.
But yeah, so no, I enjoy, but I like to turn my college sports on and have it going while I'm cooking or while I'm doing laundry. It's an easy thing to pay attention to. So yeah. But I did kind of move from one rivalry area to another. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when my team goes to the SEC, because that'll be some new rivalries for us and some new opportunities.
That was fun to listen.
And being married to a coach makes, I go to one game each season that he coaches. So he coaches football, basketball, track. And then this year he's adding soccer. So I attend one because he does middle school, and those games are just not.
Please don't make me.
They're developmentally, they're developmental. It's developmental sports. They're building skills, and so you get to see skill building. And I'm always a big fan of watching those younger ones build their skills and move up. So. But I go to one of each of those, like Coach Wife, I go show up at one so that I can say that I'm supporting. But generally speaking, I don't go to those games.
Funny.
And I'm a huge fan. Probably my biggest sport is marching band.
Oh yes, love marching band.
You know, I've loved DCI since it was drum and bugle corps. So,
Wow.
and two of my children marched in band, and one is a choir person. So they were all involved in music in some form or fashion. But that's one of those things you can always carry with you throughout your life. So,
Were you a marching band person?
Oh yes, I marched.
What did you play?
I did not march an instrument. I was in the Flag Corps Color Guard. So
Okay.
I played flute and piccolo. And I can play a clarinet. I can I played piano, and I did pit percussion, just as a little side thing. But for marching season, I was in color guard. So
you've got some moves then.
I used to, yeah, not so much anymore. I don't know that I could do what I used to do, but I do think you know, those are athletes. I know that they did a study. I think it was the University of Indiana hooked up heart rate trackers on DCI people and on college athletes, and they found out that because it requires you the coordination and the speed at which they move a DCI, they actually raise their heart rate, and they have to do it for 20 minutes. So they actually they're more fit as athletes than like football players, because in American football, it's, you know, get up, crash into each other, stop, and then you breathe, get up, crash into each other, stop, and breathe. And so it's a more fit thing to be in the marching band, which I thought was kind of interesting.
So our school does something really cool with you saying that, and I really love that they do it. So if our students have to have a PE credit, just a half of a credit, and if our students participate in marching band for 2 years, they give them that PE credit.
That is awesome.
Which I think is really, like, thank you for recognizing that, like, you do have to put a lot of work in, and they do. I mean, it's a lot of work
for that when I was in high school. Yeah. Our band director fought for us to receive equivalency credit. It didn't happen until I was a senior. And so I ended up taking PE as a freshman, but a lot of schools recognize now the athleticism, and, you know, and they offer athletics to things like non-recognized or previously not recognized sports like cheerleading, where you have to be really, really fit and strong. And so it's not just about those traditional sports. It's a lot of other things that require athleticism as well. So
it does. So I have a former student who is actually a Chiefs cheerleader.
Wow.
And then we also had a former student who danced in the halftime show this year at the Super Bowl. So
wow.
I know, it's pretty cool.
I have some former hockey players that have played in the NHL and
isn't that exciting?
Other leagues. It is. And you know, we have
some students who play in the NFL too, and I love to watch those games and tell people, hey, that's so and so. I used to have them in class.
Mm-hmm. It's I have to say that I know we don't have favorite students, like wink wink.
Right.
But I have favorite students. And one of my favorites was a gentleman who is now he's a head of a security manager of a security company, but he was one of those people who shouldn't have been able to do what he did, but he just had the personal drive to say, I will try if you will help me. Yep. And he did. And so whenever I ran into a student who's like, I can't do this, I'm like, I met the person who can't. He did, so you can't. He actually had a reason to say no, that he couldn't do it, and he did it anyway. So I don't accept no as an answer. So yeah, he didn't go on to play in the NHL, but he did go on to play collegiate hockey, and so and graduate from college. And I was super proud of him. So yeah, those are awesome things to be able to say.
And just so you know, Anne, you're not frozen.
No,
I'm
we're all
drawing
just really focused.
goalposts
We're all just really focused.
and a football, which is sort of an oval. I'm not very good at drawing picking though.
I just draw feet with shoes. Figure that looks like a. And then I'm just filling
There.
in one of my favorite, well, one of many favorite Lindsay memories. I was just filling in some space. There's a coffee cup that says "may spill if tipped," and then got our coffee ring here, which you very talentedly turned
Sidney
into
Crosby.
later.
Sid
What's
the
that?
Kid. Yeah, and I'm sure that there are a lot of hockey players who've grown up where you live. Canada has its fair share of hockey players and curlers. Curling is
Yeah,
one
that
of my
was
favorite
fun.
sports. Like I'm always like, I could do curling. It's like mopping your floor. I'm sure
Right?
it's more complicated than that.
My students were actually having a conversation with me as the Olympics were going on, and they're like, who on earth invented a sport where you have to sweep anything?
The Scots.
It was
Because
a good
that
conversation.
all curling stones come from the same quarry in Scotland.
I didn't know that.
All
didn't
curling
know that.
stones. So, yep, it's that Scott.
We need to come back up here and add curling stones to Scotland.
Yep, you got to add a curling stone.
I actually know if I can make a curling stone.
Oh, that would fill up space for me.
So, yeah. I have like no color on my picture. It's all black and white.
I know. I without Annabeth here, it's just hopeless. You just can't. I mean, you can't. I would need another half an hour to fill in with color. So, black and white it is.
I found that I was like, when I do Doodle and Chat type stuff, I would do, I had like all my colors.
Mm-hmm.
But because I committed to doing sketchnoting at technology conferences rather than using tech to take notes, because I said, if I'm going to have teachers do this, I'm going to say this is a valuable instructional tool. I should have all these examples. So I found that what I did was I limited myself to, I would take 2 or 3 colored pens that represented the colors of the conference. And I would just limit myself to those touches as highlight.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is the way to go for sure.
And I would just like try to use it as an emphasis or a highlight and limit myself so that I wasn't focusing so much on the color and trying to get the ideas, because sometimes you can get bogged down and I want it to look like this, or it's not exactly the right shade, and you worry about the color and you don't get the idea down. And so it's important.
I agree.
I will a lot of times at conferences, even though I'm on my iPad, a lot of times I will doodle it in just black and white, even on my iPad, and then I'll go back and add the color later also.
Oh, that's smart. That's smart.
And you were in a curling tournament and end up spreading out. Apparently, I mean, I'm sure it's not at all easy. I'm certain it's not. It looks easy, but you have to work really hard at something to make it look easy.
That's true. That is true.
It wasn't a curling club, but I wasn't very good at it.
And so one shoe has grip on it, and the other shoe is to slide with. Because I also have a friend who curls with her husband, and I don't think I'm coordinated. Like that one shoe, like I would be slipping all the time. Like I can't walk without ice. Like you're gonna put me on ice. It's probably not going to happen.
I think I would have been okay before I jacked my ankle up 6 years ago. I think I would have been okay doing it. But now, knowing that I have to think about every step I take anyway, I like standing on ice and then like being, okay, we're going to slide. Nope. Like, nope. Just no.
So, yeah. Definitely a unique talent, like a core. It takes a lot of core. From what I watched a documentary on it, and it's like you're just rigid. It's all one motion. It's muscle memory, but it's like, yeah.
I do think it's cool though that they have the little digital thing that now when they release it, it has like the little 2 lights that shows that they released it at the right point, that they didn't like release it late. And it has the sensors in it, so the little green lights come on, and you can see the little green lights come on. I'm like, that's really cool that they embedded technology in the handle, so they can see when they released it. Because it used to have to be eyeball and make sure that it wasn't.
Yeah, for sure.
And I would never do it again.
So we're saying maybe curling is for the younger, not just the young at heart.
I think young and flexible. I think most sports are for the young and flexible.
Right. So funny.
Because you just get to a point where your body says, even though your brain's like, I'm young, I can do this. Your body goes, no, nope. And I'm about to show you why not.
Let you wake up tomorrow morning and then your back is sore just from sleeping. And I'll remind you how old you really are.
That's right.
Or, like your arm, you're like, I can't get it right up as high as I am. Mm-hmm.
Yep. 100%. Yeah. I went to bed last night. It worked just fine. Now I can't lift it past my shoulder. Right. I hear you.
And then you go to a physician and they're like, what did you do? Nothing. I don't know. Like I woke up and walked and all of a sudden like I had this sprain in my back. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Lindsay, this was the most fun spending this hour with you, getting to talk and learn all about you and doodle and draw all of your awesomeness. Thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you for asking me. This was super fun.
And thank you for all of the people who joined us today. It is so exciting to see the names in here that we would see all the time. It just makes me so happy.
Agreed. And if you're still here with us at the end and you drew along with us and we're part of Doodle and Chat, please be sure to share your drawing out on Twitter or even on Instagram using hashtag Doodle and Chat so we can show the world all the fun that we get to have here on every Doodle and Chat with friends. Thank you, everybody. Have a great Saturday.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.